everyone, and welcome to the Beginner.English.Podcast. I'm your host, Emma.
And I'm Oliver. We're so happy you've joined us today. We have a fantastic topic that is going to be incredibly useful for you.
That's right. Today we're going to learn useful phrases and expressions for different English-speaking situations. This lesson is perfect for everyone, from beginner to intermediate learners.
Yes, knowing these phrases will help you sound more natural, speak with confidence, and really understand those real-life conversations.
Exactly, Oliver. You know, English is just full of these little phrases that make your speech sound so smooth and natural.
It really is. For example, instead of just saying, "I like this" all the time, you can use so many different expressions depending on the situation. It makes your English much more colorful.
And the most important thing to remember for all our listeners is please don't worry if you make mistakes. The important thing is to practice speaking and just keep learning.
That's the golden rule. Practice over perfection, always. So, are you ready to get started, Emma?
I am ready. Let's dive into our first section, greetings and introductions.
All right, so this is where it all begins. Starting a conversation is so much easier when you know the right phrases.
It really is. It takes away the anxiety. So let's go through some of the most common ones. The first is super simple. Hi, how are you?
A classic for a reason. It's friendly and direct. Another great one, especially for a first meeting, is, "Hello, nice to meet you."
And if you want to introduce yourself, you can say, I'm Emma. What's your name?
Perfect. And after that, a very natural next question is, "Where are you from?"
Right. And you can answer, I'm from Canada. And you? Always remember to ask the question back. It shows you're interested in the other person.
That's a fantastic tip. It makes the conversation a two-way street. And speaking of tips, here's a big one. Use a smile and a natural, friendly tone of voice. People respond so much better when you sound friendly.
Oh, definitely. Imagine someone saying, hello, I'm fine, and you? In a robotic voice, with no emotion at all.
Right, it sounds so unnatural. So always try to add a bit of your personality and warmth.
Okay, let's move on to our next section, asking for help. This is something everyone needs to do, whether you're a beginner or an advanced speaker.
Totally. There's no shame in asking for help. It's how we learn. So, a very direct and useful phrase is, "Can you help me, please?"
Simple and effective. What if you're in a class and the teacher says something too fast? You could say, could you explain this again?
Or even more specifically, "I don't understand. Can you say it slowly?" I think this one is so important for beginners. Native speakers can talk very fast sometimes.
So true. And what if you want to know a specific word? You can ask, for example, how do you say dolce vita in English?
Exactly. Or if you hear a new word and you're not sure about it, just ask, "What does that word mean?" People are usually very happy to explain.
They are. And here's a tip that goes a long way. Always add please to sound polite. It makes a huge difference. Can you help me? Is good, but can you help me please? Is great.
It's that little touch of politeness that really matters. Next up, asking questions. Questions are the engine of a conversation. They are so important for getting information and showing interest in other people.
Totally agree. A really common one you'll hear is, what do you do? This is a way of asking about someone's job or profession.
Right. And another basic one is, "Where do you live?" These are great follow-up questions after an introduction.
I agree. If you're talking about an event, like a movie or a party, you might ask, what time does it start?
Very practical. And if you want to be a little more polite before asking something personal, you can start with, "Can I ask you something?"
That's a good one. And of course, a great conversation starter is to ask about someone's interests. For example, do you like sports? Or do you like reading?
Which leads to our joke for this section. You can say to your friend or partner, "Do you like roller coasters? Because I'm an emotional one."
Nice. And the answer can be, I think I can handle the ride. All right, our next topic is a big one in many cultures, making small talk. Oliver, can you explain what small talk is?
I'd love to. Small talk is that friendly, polite conversation about unimportant things. It's not a deep discussion, it's just a way to be friendly and build a connection with someone. It's really common in English-speaking countries.
That's a perfect explanation. And the topics are usually very safe and general. For example, a very, very common one is about the weather. You might say, "The weather is nice today, isn't it?"
Yes, ma'am, especially in Britain. Or if you know the person likes sports, you could ask, did you watch the game yesterday?
Giving a compliment is also a wonderful way to start small talk. For example, "I love your shoes. Where did you buy them?"
That always works. You can also ask about hobbies, like, what kind of music do you like?
And you can share a little about yourself too. You could say, "I enjoy reading books in my free time." This invites them to share their hobbies as well.
That's right. And here's a key tip. Small talk doesn't need to be long. A few minutes is fine. The goal is just to show interest and ask questions. It's about being friendly and polite. Okay, from small talk, let's get a little more personal with our next section, talking about feelings.
Yes, English has so many ways to express emotions. The simplest way is to say something like, "I'm happy today," or "I feel a little tired."
Exactly. You can also talk about how something makes you feel. For instance, that makes me excited.
Right. Or if you have something important coming up, you might say, "I'm a bit nervous about this meeting."
And a really positive one you can say to someone else is, I'm really proud of you. That's a wonderful thing to hear.
It really is. And now for a funny observation. Saying something like, "I feel happy but nervous and tired at the same time" is very English, very complicated.
It's so true. Sometimes we have a lot of feelings all at once.
Moving on to something very practical, making requests and offers. You will often need to ask for things politely or offer help to others.
Absolutely. So for a polite request, you could say, could you pass me the salt, please?
And to offer something, you can use, "Would you like some coffee?"
If you see someone who looks like they need assistance, you can simply ask, can I help you? Or, do you need any help?
And if you want to offer someone a chair, you can say, "Please take a seat."
And here is a fantastic tip. Using could you or would you makes you sound very polite and professional. It's a bit more formal and softer than saying can you.
That's a great point. It adds a level of respect to your request.
Now, what happens when someone shares an idea? Our next section is agreeing and disagreeing. These phrases will help you respond naturally in conversations.
Yes, so if you share the same opinion, you can say, "I agree with you."
Or for a stronger agreement, a simple exactly or that's true works perfectly.
But what if you don't agree? A polite way to show a different view is, "I'm not sure about that."
That's a soft way to disagree. For a more direct, but still very polite disagreement, you could say, I don't agree, but I understand your point. This shows respect for the other person's opinion.
That's a really mature and respectful way to handle disagreement. And it's better than our little joke for this section. Sometimes people just say yes, no, maybe when they are not sure. It's better to learn the real phrases.
Definitely, clarity is kind and clever.
All right, and that leads us nicely into expressing opinions. Talking about your opinion is very common and a key part of conversations.
It is. And there are some great sentence starters to help you. The most common is, I think that. For example, I think that learning English is fun.
I agree with you. Another one is, in my opinion, or I believe.
A slightly more formal one is, from my point of view.
And if you want to express an opinion but you're not 100% certain, you can say, "I'm not sure, but I think."
That's a great one. And the tip here is that using phrases like I think makes your English sound more confident and natural because you're clearly marking that it is your own opinion.
Okay, let's have some fun with our next section. Common idioms for daily English. Idioms can be tricky, but they make your speech so much more interesting.
They really do. They are phrases where the meaning isn't obvious from the individual words. For example, our first one is piece of cake.
This doesn't mean you're talking about a literal dessert. If something is a piece of cake, it means it's very easy. You could say, "The English test was a piece of cake."
Yes, how about this one? Break the ice. This means to start a conversation, usually with someone you don't know, to make them feel more comfortable.
Playing a game is a good way to break the ice at a party. Okay, next up, hit the books. This means to study hard.
Right. If you have an exam tomorrow, you need to hit the books tonight. Here's another. Once in a blue moon. This describes something that happens very rarely.
For example, "I only see my cousin from Australia once in a blue moon." Okay, last one. Feeling under the weather. This is a very common way to say you are feeling sick.
Yes, you might say, I can't come to work today, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. And the joke, which is also a tip, let yourself monkey around.
It means spending time fooling around and having fun without being productive or doing anything useful.
Okay, so we've learned all these amazing phrases. Now let's see them in action with a real-life example. Emma and I will read a short conversation for you. I'll be Oliver. And Emma?
I'll be Emma, ready when you are.
Okay, hi, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
I feel a little tired, but happy. Did you watch the game yesterday?
Yes, it was amazing. By the way, can you help me with my homework?
Of course, let's go over it together.
And cut. Did you hear all those phrases we used? We had greetings, talking about feelings, small talk, and asking for help, all in one short conversation.
That's right. And a great tip for all of you listening is to practice this with a friend or even record yourself speaking. You can replace our names and situations with your own to make it more personal.
Now, to help you get started, we have a quick practice exercise for you. We want you to try this after the podcast.
Yep, first try to write 5 greetings and introduction sentences. Second, write 3 questions you could ask a friend.
Third, write 3 phrases to express your opinion. And finally, practice reading all of these sentences out loud, slowly and clearly.
And please remember this very important advice. Small daily practice is better than one long session once a week. Consistency is the key to success in language learning. As we wrap up, we want to leave you with a few final tips to help you on your journey.
First, speak slowly and clearly. It's okay to take your time. And remember, mistakes are normal and part of learning.
Second, try using connectors like then, after that, and also to make your speech smoother. They help link your ideas together.
Third, practice these everyday situations. Ask for help at a shop, make small talk with a classmate, or give your opinion on a movie. Real-life practice is the best.
And finally, listen to native speakers on TV and podcasts like this one, or in movies, and try to repeat their phrases. It's a great way to improve your pronunciation and rhythm.
Learning these phrases truly will help you sound natural, understand conversations better, and most importantly, speak confidently.
And that is all the time we have for today's episode of the Beginner English Podcast. We hope you found it helpful.
Thank you all so much for listening. Keep practicing, stay positive, and join us next time for another lesson.
Until then, happy learning, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.